Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you again so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Taking a look here at Avalanche, double checking a couple of things. We can see we've obviously broken free from our descending trend and of course our newer ascending trend line. So we'll draw out some smaller time frame fib levels, but just quickly recognize that 0.382 fib at 2336 is a close approximate of a support level. It's held previously, holding again here. We may be in the start, and this is again, Bitcoin is printing a similar pattern here. We may be starting a head and shoulders. It's kind of a little premature and early, but something to pay attention to, right? So we'll take a look at that here and much more. If you're new to the channel, just want to say thank you again for joining. And if you've been watching for a while, thank you even more. Absolutely appreciate you hitting the like button on every single video. It really helps grow the channel and get this in front of more people who deserve a fighting chance to not get destroyed by moon boys recommending you buy every single bottom. Now, if we take a look here at AVAX, we can double check and see a few things. First of all, more locally, a lot of longs entering at $23 with high leverage, okay? What do you know? High leverage usually gets swept first. So wouldn't be surprised if we see one more candle wick down before the price recovers, or the price recovers and then comes back crashing back down to destroy those late longs. So just keep in mind, not really good conditions to take any long positions right now. Most contributing factors on the charts are going to be showing that we're bearish, okay? And that hasn't changed really in the last 24 hours. It's been mostly bearish ever since we topped out partway through the weekend, okay? Now again, I don't really like to trade weekends, so that's half the reason why you didn't see any trade signals. And today, really just waiting for Bitcoin to hit its tentative top at 58,500. The goal is to short at that range. So if you're part of my community, you'll know if you look at our trade alerts that I describe very clear exactly what's going on. These are all available for any and all community members, so be sure to check that out. But the last thing I want to talk about on the charts here is that there is liquidation, of course, to the upside too. It's not all doom and gloom to the downside. You just got to recognize there's more liquidation closer to the price action, so it's more likely the price is going to go down because of that. However, the larger concentration, roughly about $1 billion in liquidation, is upwards about 2650. Okay, so just know 2650 up here. This is roughly what we're looking at for that liquidation. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and squeeze that down a little bit, 2650, make that a little more accurate so we can kind of pay attention to that later. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the bigger picture and see what's going on. Once again, we're currently holding above our 0.382 fib level, and let's go ahead and see kind of where we're at here for the moment. And when we look at these kind of trends, folks, we always want to kind of understand that shifting gears is one thing, but bearish trends are another. So let's see if this is just a gear shift, or if this is essentially a consideration open or short, or if it's consideration for maybe a long position. Generally, I don't like to buy these kind of dips, but we do have a tangent double bottom on smaller time frames. Could work out. But once more, folks, patterns, smaller time frames are less reliable. Some people are looking at like 15-minute charts for like head and shoulders and cup and handles and stuff. While it does play out for the short term, longer term, bigger plays, you want to look at larger time frames. So just some friendly advice in case you're not familiar with that. Good news is, and bad news, we got this 20 and the 50-day SMA hanging out right below the price action on the daily. That's a good sign, generally speaking, implying that $23 should be the bottom. It's no guarantee, though. We have a pretty solid fair value gap from that very aggressive Sunday roughly a week ago. Okay, so if you saw roughly 8 days ago, there was a Sunday that really everything kind of took off. Okay, there's a lot of fair value there too coming down. Bitcoin is filling its fair value gap as well, and we can see this as low as about $22. So my speculation is this 0.618 fib level should hold with a candle wick down for a very aggressive little oopsie daisy, and the price comes back up, while meanwhile destroying every potential late long, right? Including those who are taking a long right now. So just be mindful. Based on this sentiment, there's more likely to see the price pull back. We're also testing / potentially losing 50 on the RSI. Obviously, we haven't lost it yet, but generally not a favorable sign when you're getting that close to it. However, trend strength looks decent. MACD hasn't fully diverged yet. I wouldn't say we're in the doghouse at all. Price can still pull back, and we can still look pretty decent on the daily. But overall, I'd say these are a lot of conflicting factors here on the daily, letting us know that further downside makes more sense with the overall trend of the market. However, there is potential to bounce if the market does stabilize. Okay, so 4-hour time frame, what are we looking at here? Well, liquidation, we kind of zoom out here. We recognize, again, there's liquidation on the upside. I didn't draw it on the charts, but once more, 23 to 2250 is that heavier concentration. Once again, 2250 has about, what, quarter billion dollars there. So about somewhere in the range of about 400 billion between now and 2250. Okay, so that's a chunk. It's a decent chunk. Let's just go ahead and put this 2250. It's right here, right there. just above the golden pocket. So again, all the more reason why this 0.618 fib level should probably hold as the initial support if the price continues lower. Okay, so I would say that I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards a short consideration with this coin. We do take a look here, this local support here as well, getting tested. We're going to kind of pay attention to that guy as well, mainly because, again, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, now at 8, 9 attempts to break through that level of 23.25. That's not a good sign, okay? You don't want to reattempt a support level or resistance that many times without breaking, okay? So just something to kind of be mindful of. Let's take a look at the other indications here. 150 on the RSI, money flow index is low, but not super crazy low. Stochastic swinging down a second time. TSI is very low, and MACD is diverging. This is pretty much every single, most every single consideration for short. I know it seems kind of crazy to want to short into this kind of momentum. We're overextended already. Again, all the more reason why I'm expecting Bitcoin to do a little bit of a bounce and then pull back again. So we may actually see the price come back up to this 24.50 and then pull back, right? A local high working as a new resistance. So just keep in mind that's potential reality. That does kind of go in line here with the potential head and shoulders pattern as well. While it's not a guarantee, we got to kind of see how that neckline holds. What we want to look at next, and just to clarify, we are above the 200 SMA for the moment, but that's not really a big indicator when we see everything else is looking bearish, okay? So please recognize most people, unfortunately, they'll put a lot of weight into specific indicators, such as SMAs, and I like the SMAs too. They're very, very helpful, but they're more so trendsetters than they are supports. So please recognize that when you see a price bouncing off of a SMA of sorts, it's not really a bounce. It's more so just an area that we want to pay attention to. We lose that area, it might be an invalidation of sorts, right? So obviously we close below this 23.25 mark. We would invalidate a potential for long and likelihood of continuation of the downside. Hourly time frame, what are we looking at here? Well, same thing, different day. Or same thing, different coin, rather. We can see we're below all scenarios here in which we want to take a trade with confidence. So if you're considering a long position, you shouldn't. If you're convincing yourself right now you should take a long position, you also shouldn't. You should convince yourself not to take a trade at any given time. Right now, I think this coin does have tremendous potential to go down further. It just makes sense. It's running concurrent in a lot of ways with Bitcoin. I feel that way because Bitcoin has most of the indications that it should go lower. We've got a tentative support at 57,500, and a lot of resistance at 58.5 that should have held as a support but didn't. We got to presume it'll work as a resistance now. That factors into AVAX. 24.50 previous support level, likely the new resistance. Okay. And why do I think that? Well, mainly because not only just at fib level, we had a lot of trouble getting past 24.50. After we did, we came back down and didn't even bother to stop along the way. Like, you're supposed to have bounced off here, off this ascending trend line. That didn't happen. Therefore, continuation of the downside is more likely. Okay, it's just generally the concept. Once more, Bitcoin could explode tomorrow or on Wednesday when the Fed meeting occurs, so please be mindful that's coming. It's a very big catalyst, fundamental one nobody has any control over. Nobody is going to understand what's going to happen until it happens, right? The market is always weird during that time, so generally best not to trade going into that or trade with high leverage. I like using low leverage and maybe have 1 or 2 trades open in the overall trend of what's happening, okay? Please understand that. Anyways, however you slice it here, AVAX is breaking bearish, hasn't fully broken bearish, but it's absolutely on its way, and it would make more sense for the price to go down further than it would to go up at this given time. I hope that makes sense and I described that correctly. Make sure also too, if you're trading, day trading and swing trading, you use 2 different portfolios. Highly recommend BTCC for the secondary exchange. We're a Bitunix family, of course. They've been phenomenal to us, but BTCC has really good options. They've been around for like 13 years, and it's just a really good responsible exchange too. So check them out. No KYC or VPN required, link down below. I hope you have a great rest of the day either way you look at it. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you again soon. Take care.